Greetings of the day, children. A warm welcome to each one of you for the virtual session of science again. I hope you all are doing very well and you all are maintaining your notebook. Hopefully, just a gentle reminder to everyone here. So let us see what are we going to do today. We are going to continue with the chapter body movements part 2, and as you know, we do perform various body movements. We dance, we walk, we bend, we draw, we kick a ball. All those different movements of the body is possible due to the skeletal system we have, and we have to learn in detail all that. So I hope the first session for the body movement was interesting to you all. Let us have some more interesting concept for this chapter. We are going to learn about some important terms. First of all, we will learn about the limbs, bones and joints. So the limbs, very simple, the arms or legs of an animal. Those are called as limbs. So the animals, they cannot walk erect. They have four limbs, the hind limb and the forelimbs. So we can walk erect, and we have a spine and vertebral column help us to stay erect, and we have proper hands and legs. Whereas the animals with the four limbs, they cannot walk erect. So generally we talk in terms of limbs. That's why the hind limbs for them function as we have arms, and the four limbs, like the front limbs I'm talking about, that means the four limbs will act like arms, whereas the limbs behind, that is their legs. So for them, they have four limbs, that means hind limbs and forelimbs. Hind limbs means the legs behind, and the forelimbs means the hands, the arms for them. Whereas here, let us see what are bones. These are the hard white structures below our skin that protect our internal organs, and bones are incapable of bending. So they are the white hard structures. You must have seen these, children. Somewhere bones you have all seen, hopefully, and they are below our skin that protect our internal organs, and bones are incapable of bending. So we have joints in our bones that help us to bend. We can bend our arms at the elbow. So the elbow joints help us to bend our arms. Whereas we just cannot bend all the bones. We can bend our bones at the point where you have joints. That's why bones are incapable of bending. Joints, these are defined as the points at which two bones are fitted together, and these are the points at which we can rotate and bend our bodies, as I told you. So these joints help us to bend or rotate. This is the point where you can easily bend your body, where you can easily rotate the part of the body because of the joints, and the bone itself not capable of bending. The joints helps the bones to bend. So it depends upon which part of the body has joints, and that part you can bend. Not all the bones are capable of bending. I hope this is all terms clear with you. So skeletal system, we are going to see skeletal system now. What is skeletal system made up of? It's not only about the bones, the muscles and the cartilage, they all play a very important role, and they come under skeletal system because they are the ones helps in the body movement. So what are muscles? Muscles are parts of the body that help in bringing about movement. So when you have a muscle tear due to some accident, then the movement of the body is restricted. You get pain because of the tearing of the muscles, and that movement of the body will give pain because muscles plays a very important role in the movement of the body. Muscles may be attached to bones like humans, or may work alone like earthworm. So it can be attached to bones, like for us and when it is attached to bone and you have a muscle tear, it is attached to bone, so that part of the body will be very painful if you have a muscle tear. And in earthworm, muscle work alone. Cartilage. What is cartilage? Part of the skeleton that is not hard as bones and can be bent is cartilage. So here you have a very good example of the cartilage. You can understand they are like very soft bone. They are found in the upper part of the ear. You can check your ear. The upper part of the ear, it's a very soft bone. You can easily bend, and the tip of the nose and at the tip of long bones. So these are the cartilage, and they are very soft bones, and it can easily bend. You can check your upper part of the ear. You can easily bend because of the cartilage, and the tip of the nose you can easily move because of the cartilage system. And that cartilage system is not hard, it is soft. Then joints. Joints are the points where two parts of the skeletons are fitted together to make movement possible. Examples: hip joint, elbow joint, knee joint. So you have already written about the joints. You just need to write about the examples over here. You have different joints in your body. You can move your hip, you can bend your hip, you can bend your elbow, you can bend your knee because of all these joints: hip joint, elbow joint, and knee joint. Then you have ball and socket joint. This is also very important for the various movements, like ball and socket joint, where the rounded end of one bone fits into the cavity of the other bone. So it is one bone fitting in the cavity of the other bone. It is made like that naturally. So this helps in bringing movement in all directions. So it is present in certain part of the body. Not all part of the body will show ball and socket joint. Where it is seen in the body, it is seen in the hips and shoulders of the human body. So it brings movement in all direction, because your hips can move in all directions, your shoulder can move in the direction. You can rotate your arms 360-degree because of the ball and socket joint. The hips movement, you can move your hip in 360-degree because of the ball and socket, because it is rounded end of one bone fits into the cavity of the other bone, which makes the movement in all direction possible. I hope ball and socket joint clear with you all. Let us see this. So that will make very clear where ball and socket joint, where one bone fits in the socket of the other bone. So that makes the movement possible. So shoulder bones, very easily you can rotate your arms in 360-degree movement you can show because of the ball and socket joints. Here you can see the ball and socket joint. This is how it looks. Then pivot joint. A pivotal joint is where a cylindrical bone rotates in a ring. So here it has different structure. The pivot joint have a cylindrical bone rotates in a ring. It joins the neck to the head. So where it is present, here it is in the neck, and it is joined to the head. That's why the movement of your head, you cannot move your head 360-degree. It allows to bend the head forward and backward and turn the head to a left or right. So this type of movement will be possible because of the cylindrical bones can rotate in a ring, that is pivotal joint, and this is connected. It connects the neck to the head. This type of pivot movement will only allow the movement forward, backward, left and right. You just cannot rotate your head 360-degree. You just cannot rotate your head completely in a circle. Like you can move your arms 360-degree movement you can show, but head you cannot move like that because of the pivot joint. So this is your pivot joint. Here cylinder is shown, and you can see the bones fitted in the cylinder, and backward, forward, left and right movement is possible. Here you can see a person neck, and you can identify the type of bones in the neck present in human. So in human being you have this kind of pivot bones, pivot joint in the neck. So this joint, just see the image where a cylinder and a bone inside. So that movement is possible because here you have seen the cylindrical bone rotates in a ring. So this is movement is possible where you just cannot move your head 360 degree, but you can move forward, backward, left and right. And this is your neck is connected to the head. That's why that kind of movement of the head is possible. Hinge joints, as the name suggests, let us see what is the function and what are the important role played by the hinge joints. Hinge joints bring about movement in only back and forth direction. So it will help only to move backward and forward direction. The knees and elbows have hinge joints. So the knees and the elbows, you can check your knees and the elbows. It can move back and forth direction. It can move backward and it can move forward. It just cannot rotate. So knees you can show backward and forward movement. Elbows backward and forward movement because it has hinge joints. The following image is a hinge joint in the elbow, you can see. I hope you all are taking down all the points in your notebook, children. So this is the hinge joint. You can see in your muscles get attached to the bones. Here you can see on the left hand side, and you can identify with the structure of the hinge joint shown over here. So this is like a hinge of the door. You must have seen how the door is attached to the wooden frame with the help of the hinges. You go and check the door at home, and it has hinges. With the help of the hinges, the movement of the door is possible. Back and forth movement of the door is possible because of the hinges attached to the wooden frame of the door. You can check that hinge and it resembles the hinge joint which is present in a body, and that's why you can move your knees and elbows back and forth. I hope these hinge joints clear with you all, and you can see this image. It will give you a clear idea. Fixed joints, as the name suggests, fixed joints are immovable joints because the bones are joined together, and such joints are found in the skull. So the skull joints, these are the fixed joints, and immovable, that means they cannot move because the bones are joined together. A very simple example is the skull. Skull is very hard and very strong bone because it has to take care of the brain inside. I hope the session was interesting to you all, children. Please do write down all the important points in your notebook. Just a gentle reminder to everyone. Thank you, children, and have a great day.